If the rumors circulating about the scripts from July 27th to August 14th are even half true, what they are setting up for our favorite legacy family is downright criminal. Let us start with the ticking time bomb over at Deception, because if you ask me, this corporate battle is about to turn into an absolute bloodbath. Everyone is expecting Serena Baldwin to march into town and immediately lock horns with Michael Corinthos. We all thought it would be a classic explosive boardroom war right out of the gate, but I have a much more sinister theory. What if Serena does not show her claws at all? What if she walks in playing the role of the perfect, understanding, and supportive ally? I believe Serena's harboring a massive hidden agenda. She is going to cozy up to Michael, offering him a shoulder to lean on and brilliant business advice, all while flashing that innocent smile. She wants to gain his absolute, unquestioning trust. Why? Because once she is inside his inner circle, she can quietly investigate the puppet masters who are truly manipulating the company. Serena is playing the long game, ladies. She knows that to dismantle a legacy family's empire, you do not attack the walls. You poison the well from the inside out. But here is where the domino effect truly kicks into high gear. Jacinda Bracken is not blind. She is going to see Serena getting closer and closer to Michael, and her jealousy and paranoia are going to skyrocket. Jacinda will feel her grip on Michael slipping, and she will decide to take matters into her own hands. I strongly suspect Jacinda will orchestrate a vicious, manipulative scheme designed to eliminate both Serena and Willow Kane from Michael's orbit in one fell swoop. She wants them gone permanently. However, in true soap opera fashion, these rogue plans never work out the way the schemer intends. Jacinda's independent plot is going to spectacularly backfire. Instead of neutralizing Serena and Willow, Jacinda is going to accidentally expose her own dark deeds, leaving her completely vulnerable to Michael's wrath. And speaking of losing control, we absolutely must talk about Ethan Lovett and the mysterious arrival of Hudson. The surface level narrative wants us to believe that Ethan is simply packing his bags and fleeing Port Charles in a panic just because Hudson showed up. But guys, come on. Ethan is far too clever for a simple cut and run. If you ask me, Ethan has known Hudson was hunting him for a very long time. He has been anticipating this exact moment. I theorize that Ethan has already prepared an elaborate, secret escape route. But here is the massive twist. I do not think Ethan is leaving alone. What if he has formed an unholy alliance with someone in town? What if he secretly convinces a few of his closest confidants to vanish into the night with him before Hudson can even strike? Imagine the absolute chaos if Ethan disappears and takes a beloved legacy family member with him, leaving the rest of Port Charles scrambling in the dark. Now, let us shift our focus to the murky waters of the lake, because the situation with Drew Kane, Nina Reeves, and Willow Kane is about to become a suffocating nightmare. We have all been operating under the assumption that Drew, upon waking up, might cover for Nina to protect her, perhaps claiming he accidentally rolled his wheelchair into the water. But I am telling you, that is too easy. I predict a brutal twist. I believe Drew is going to wake up with crystal clear clarity. He is going to remember every single terrifying second of Nina pushing him into that freezing water. The sheer trauma of the near drowning will shatter any lingering loyalties he had. Drew is not going to stay silent. He is going to want fierce vengeance. When Drew's memory returns, it will trigger a catastrophic chain reaction. I foresee Jack Brennan seizing this golden opportunity. Instead of just using his blackmail material in the shadows, what if Brennan forms an unholy alliance with the PCPD? He could flip the entire script, using Drew's testimony, to completely corner Nina and Willow. Suddenly, the women who thought they were in control will find themselves trapped in a vicious cycle of their own making. Nina and Willow will be forced into a frantic, desperate race against time to silence Drew before he can officially go on the record. But how far are they willing to go? Will they cross a line from which they can never, ever return? Meanwhile, the entire town is bracing for the highly anticipated return of Jason Morgan. Yes, we will see the emotional reunions with Carly Spencer, Sonny Corinthos, Britt Westbourne, and Anna Devane. There will be tears and tight hugs. But if you think Jason is coming back to be the same old enforcer, you are in for a massive shock. I have a strong feeling that Jason's time in WSB captivity has fundamentally broken him, or rather, rebuilt him into a completely different man. The trauma he endured has shifted his entire worldview. I predict Jason will stand in front of his loved ones and drop a bombshell. He is leaving the mob for good. He is washing his hands of the violence, the unholy alliances, and the constant shadow of death. Jason's sole focus will shift entirely to protecting Danny Morgan and finally stepping up to be the father he never was. But we all know Sonny Printhos. Do we honestly believe Sonny is just going to nod, smile, and let his most lethal weapon walk away into domestic bliss? Absolutely not. Sonny's empire is currently incredibly vulnerable. Jen Sidwell is causing chaos, and Sonny needs his right-hand man more than ever. Jason's declaration of independence is going to be viewed by Sonny as the ultimate betrayal. I foresee a heartbreaking, bitter war brewing between these two brothers in arms. Sonny will refuse to accept Jason's decision, potentially going to extreme, manipulative lengths to drag Jason back into the underworld. Will Sonny's desperation end up alienating Jason forever, fracturing this legacy family beyond repair? And while the mob bosses are warring, a completely different disaster is unfolding at the Quartermain Mansion, all thanks to Giovanni Palmieri. Gio is a hero for diving into that lake and saving Drew, yes. But Gio is also young, overwhelmed, and completely unaware of the treacherous family dynamics he is dealing with. I theorize that in the aftermath of the rescue, Gio is going to run his mouth. He is going to spill way too many details to Tracy, Michael, and Brooklyn. He might mention seeing Nina on the pier, or hearing something he wasn't supposed to hear. Gio's innocent loose lips are going to act as the ultimate catalyst, exposing the dark secrets surrounding Drew's accident much faster than anyone anticipated. This is going to put unimaginable, crushing pressure on Nina Reeves. The walls will close in on her, all because a young lifeguard didn't know when to keep quiet. As if the town does not have enough to deal with, my heart is absolutely aching for Trina Robinson. We know she has a stalker, someone watching her from the shadows. But guys, the slow burn is over. I predict this stalker is going to escalate their terrifying game in the next 3 weeks. They are not going to hide in the dark anymore. I believe this obsessed individual is going to make a brazen, terrifying move to snatch Trina right in the middle of broad daylight. The sheer audacity of the attack will leave everyone paralyzed. But this terrifying moment will forcefully drag Gio or Kai Taylor into a deadly rescue mission. They will be thrust into a high-stakes, life-or-death scenario to save the woman they care about. But will they reach her in time, or will Trina be lost to a madman? Now, let us look at the romantic entanglements, because Ric Lansing is about to remind us all exactly why he is one of the most dangerous men in Port Charles when his heart is involved. Rick is watching Elizabeth Baldwin and Dante Falconeri grow closer by the day. They are sharing intimate moments, confiding in each other, and building a foundation of deep trust. Most men would just seethe in jealousy, but not Rick. Rick is a master of the manipulative scheme. I do not think he will just confront them. I think he will actively orchestrate a series of devastating misunderstandings. He will plant seeds of doubt, forge messages, or create situations that make Dante look untrustworthy to Elizabeth, and vice versa. Rick is going to methodically tear their budding romance apart from the inside, leaving Elizabeth heartbroken and confused, and Dante completely isolated. With all these dominoes falling, deception crumbling, Drew seeking vengeance, Jason abandoning the mob, and Rick playing God with people's hearts, the fallout has to land somewhere. And it is going to land squarely on the desks of Alexis Davis and Diane Miller. We know they are swamped with work and desperately looking to hire a new partner. But if you ask me, this hiring spree is not just about managing their current caseload. Alexis and Diane are brilliant. They can read the writing on the wall. They know that a massive, town-wide legal storm is brewing. When Nina and Willow's vicious cycle of lies regarding Drew's attempted murder finally explodes into the public eye, there will be arrests, trials, and massive lawsuits. When the truth about the deception manipulations comes to light, the corporate litigation will be astronomical. Alexis and Diane are staffing up because they are preparing for the legal equivalent of World War III in Port Charles. They are bracing for the moment when the Legacy families stop fighting in the shadows and start battling in the courtroom. Just picture the absolute chaos that is about to descend upon us. We have Serena playing a dangerous game of corporate espionage while Jacinda digs her own grave. We have Ethan potentially orchestrating a mass exodus right under Hudson's nose. We have Drew Kane awake, angry, and holding the power to send Nina to a cold, dark cell. We have Jason Morgan, the town's ultimate protector, laying down his weapons and walking away, leaving a massive vacuum of power just as Trina Robinson faces a daylight abduction. And through it all, Ric Lansing is pulling the romantic strings like a vindictive puppeteer. Every single storyline is a lit fuse, and they are all burning rapidly towards the exact same powder keg. The next 3 weeks are not going to be about heartwarming family reunions or peaceful resolutions. They are going to be about survival. The hidden agendas are going to be dragged into the light, the unholy alliances are going to shatter, and the legacy families will be forced to look at the monsters they have become. The domino effect has already started, and once that first piece falls, there is absolutely no stopping the destruction that follows. So, I have to ask you, when the dust finally settles, and the truth is laid bare for all of Port Charles to see, who will be left standing, and who will be buried beneath the wreckage of their own lies?